Other interesting business news, General Motors claims they're going to try to get EV positive by this year, which would be astronomically impressive, to say the least, because, again, EVs are a huge upfront expense, not just research and development, but also setting up the proper manufacturer, getting the new supplies, getting those big, massive batteries that are about the size weight of a Volkswagen Beetle or more. And a lot of companies lose money for years. I mean, Rivian is still losing about $44,000 per unit sold. Granted, they are technically moving in the right direction, losing less per vehicle each fiscal quarter. So, or quarter, as I don't know why I said that with a funny British accent, but nevertheless, they are moving in the right direction, but they're still losing money. Tesla took years to break a profit. Now, this comes to us thanks to LinkedIn. Got a picture of Mary Barra over there, who's the current CEO of General Motors. She's been there for, I believe, 10 years, and it specifically say that, quote, General Motors is expecting a stronger than anticipated 2024, including a positive variable profit from its electric vehicle unit in the back half of the year. The auto giant's $43 billion in the first quarter revenue exceeded analysts' forecast. Which, yeah, they make all, in terms of a volume manufacturer, they're the McDonald's of the automotive community. Even though, anecdotally speaking, like, they don't really make cars anymore. Like, they used to be known for, like, the Chevy. They had a couple, really popular compact cars and sedans. If you look at General Motors' portfolio, they're really pushing EVs and trucks, not EVs, SUVs and trucks, which, again, that makes sense. Those are where a lot of Americans are moving in terms of their preferences past couple of years. That is still quite a lot of revenue, to say the least. They also know that it reported a 24% jump in profit for the quarter, buoyed by reliable, sturdy pickup truck sales and solid demand for SUVs, both of which outweighed softer sales in China. Which, again, yeah, there's a reason SUVs and trucks are always going to be manufactured. There are a couple of people who actually will use their truck on a farm and use it as intended. Maybe 3%. But the reason it's so astronomically important for these manufacturers is that's where they make a majority of their profits. They are the amount of gross or profit in a truck is almost gross in an impressive way. I remember when I was in the automotive community, if you sold a Chevy Cruze, which was the compact vehicle that they used to manufacture in Ohio, a dealership might lose about $480 before, and that's if they so the only way they actually made money is they attach financing and accessories, then long-term maintenance of the vehicle. I mean, compact cars are terrible fiscally speaking. There's usually a loss leader to get you into the brand, and then they hope you come back to the dealership and maybe buy a Chevy Suburban or Tahoe. Those huge vehicles, SUVs, those will have almost $10,000 in gross for dealership. And customers see more value in those types of vehicles, so they're willing to pay that money. So, I mean, that's, people always wonder, why are they making all these big cars, or SUVs more accurately? Because consumers want them, and they're highly profitable. Which, again, is why GM says they want to be full EV by 2035 for the whole fleet, and Mary Barra wants Cadillac to be full EV by 2030, which is disgusting and sad at the same time. It's the last good vehicle they make is a Cadillac CTS 4-wing Blackwing and CTS 5-wing Blackwing. I mean, you got a stick shift with the twin turbo V6, then you got a stick shift with a V8 in a Cadillac, which, I mean, it's brilliant engineering. It's a blast to drive. I'd love to own. I have the privilege of owning one of these days. But yeah, they want to turn that into an EV. They also know that GM saved more than $100 million by scaling back its driverless investments in Cruise, which, yeah, they're not. I don't think they're making that money back. That's their driverless vehicle that is famously known for running people over in San Francisco, which I guess it helps blend into the community. But yeah, it was so bad the city actually pulled them off the road, or more accurately, pulled their permits that allowed them to test those autonomous vehicles on the roads. And I don't see them making a profit on that anytime soon. They also know that it expects to sell 200,000 to 300,000 EVs by the end of this year, which I'm pretty skeptical to say the least. They also say that at least 10 federal lawsuits have been filed against GM in the past month over its connected car data collection practices that led to all the drivers' insurance premiums to spike exponentially, which, again, they'll probably be protected. Like, it's one of those things where it's in the fine print, but no one reads. From consumer perspective and brand loyalty, that's a great way to sour that relationship when they seem to be having fewer and fewer relationships. It's a cliche, but if you have, family automotive community, family in Michigan, you'll see damn near a lot of those American cars are there because you get the friends and family discount. I mean, nowadays when I see an American vehicle, my first thought is police, because police contracts is where GM and Ford get a lot of, especially the SUVs. I mean, that's where a lot of money is coming from. Now, I mean, 200,000 and 300,000 EVs by the end of the year. I mean, that sounds astronomical. That being said, they do have a couple that are really popular. I believe they actually have a picture down here. Is the Bolt? Ugh. Or is that the Blaze? Or again, they're taking names and instead of coming up with new and interesting names, they just say they're just rebadging stuff. Like the Camaro's gonna be an EV two-door SUV this year apparently, which I don't know who's asking for that. So it'll be interesting to see if GM can truly get a profit this year. I'd be really impressed if they can do that. I mean, GM of course has its own historic ineptitudes, but also EVs in general are there's such a tremendous upfront investment. There's so many variables you can't control. You got to get the raw minerals. Do you think they could actually make a profit on EVs? I mean, if they could actually do that, that'd be a huge milestone for the company, and perhaps they won't go bankrupt for the fourth time. If you read the history books, you'll see they've gone bankrupt 3 times thus far since Billy Durant founded the company when he brought together Buick and Oldsmobile all those years ago. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.